Okay, hello ladies and gentlemen, Forrest over here, and welcome back to more of Freedom Sight, or not Freedom Sight, Ace Attorney Investigations, right game, series, wrong game in general. So here we go, you're ready? I'm ready to do what will be the finale of this case in particular. No matter how long it takes, I am not going to end the stream until we finish this case. The first half is going to consist of basically doing what we've been doing the whole time. That being, hearing people's testimonies, giving them a rebuttal, explaining our logic and all that. But then the second half, which is the final part of the case, is going to be full-on detective mode, so to speak. So, let's go ahead and get started with the Kidnap Turnabout Latter Final Confrontation Former. Let's begin. Hello, Daniel Barry. How you doing tonight? Hold on 1 second. March 13th, 3:45 p.m. Gatewaterland Main Gate. Where's the costume, Detective Gumshoe? Was it out here in the open all along? No, it was discovered in the tall grass back there. We moved it out here in order to examine it more thoroughly. Then let's get down to it. I won't rest until I've inspected every suspicious-looking nook and cranny. What do we have here? Yep, that's gonna be the big thing. We have a necklace on the inside, right around the upper area of the this costume here. Oh, it's another pendant! That's 2 treasures in 1 day! How lucky is that? And hey! This pretty baby's made of platinum silver too! Another pendant on top of the one we found on Mr. Deacon? Is it possible that these two... Hold it right there! Hands off, Mr. Prosecutor. You sure know how to cross the line, don't you? A pendant, huh? This is a very decisive piece of evidence. You said that about Meekin's testimony. So, what are you gonna do about this one, huh? How can you tell? Exactly. Look here and read off what you see. Lauren. Wait, Lauren. Hey, it's a name that's engraved on this. Miss Pop's pendant data jotted down in my organizer. It's shaped like a pair of wings. Lauren D is engraved on the back. Aha! We have you now, Miss Kidnapper! No, you don't understand! Holly, I can't believe you were one of my kidnappers. Vince... You can tell Edward's thinking so much about what just transpired here. You're kidding! Miss Potts was one of the kidnappers? Yes. It was me. I held Lance hostage. So Miss Potts is one of the kidnappers. But even knowing that, I can't call this case solved. Or over. Hey! Guys! Case closed! Get the car ready, and I mean the special one for this young lady!
Hold
it! Again, Mr. Prosecutor? What is it this time? Are you proposing that Miss Pops is also the culprit in the murder case? What happened? I thought Officer Meekins was your suspect. We found it. Found what? That officer's gun. He literally dropped it in the middle of a thick patch of grass. Your country's police are a sham. Just look at how careless they are. Who are you calling a sham? The officer's gun didn't show signs of having been fired, so it can't be the murder weapon. So Officer Meekins has been cleared of all charges, I see. And that's when a brand new suspect comes walking onto the scene. The murder only happened because the kidnappers started fighting amongst themselves. As I recall, it was you who said that, right, Mr. Prosecutor? Miss Pops! Did you really kill Mr. Deacon? Yes, I killed him. I can't believe it. Thanks for the confession!
Objection!
Agent Lang, it's much too early to declare this case closed. Look at you, so sure of yourself. We've got the culprit's own confession and some very incriminating evidence. What more could you ask for? Miss Lauren Pops. Yes? I want to hear it from you. Tell me your side of all that has happened today, from the kidnapping to the murder. But why? I'm a kidnapper and the killer. Isn't that enough? It's fine if you're the one behind everything, but only if that is the truth. Now then, will you tell us the truth? Or is there some reason why? I've had a change of heart. I think I'd enjoy seeing you sulk away as the losing mutt. Alright, you heard me. Let's hear about all the evil deeds you committed today. Testimony. Miss Pop's confession. The one who came up with the kidnapping plan was the butler, Mr. Deaton. Hold on. Trying to do something real quick. Give me 1 second. There you go. We knew that we could get rich by holding Lance hostage. Mr. Romano would pay anything to get his son back, after all. Everything was going according to plan, but as soon as we got the money, Mr. Deacon turned on me and tried to kill me. Ooh. There. Are you satisfied? She just confessed to her crimes a second time. At least you have the guts to admit what you've done. I can at least respect that much. Miss Pops, is what you said really the truth? Yes, it is. If that is the truth, it certainly isn't the whole truth. Because there's something that seems a bit too improbable in a confession. Rebuttal. Miss Pop's confession. The one who came up with the kidnapping plan was the butler, Mr. Deaton.
Hold it!
How well did you know the victim? I've spoken with him only a few times at Lance's house. A few times? That's it? Yes. If they only met a few times, I don't see how they could have trusted each other. But if you hardly ever talk, then how could he trust you not to steal his plan?
Knuckle fast!
That's completely irrelevant. He was planning to betray her from the very beginning. Which is why he chose someone he wasn't especially close to. Isn't that right, Sheila? Yes, however, Mr. Deacon made a very poor choice. In the end, he was killed by the one he intended to betray himself. Ha! I bet he didn't see that one coming. We knew that we could get rich by holding Lance hostage. Mr. Mono would pay anything to get his son get his son back after all. After all, everything was going according to plan, but as soon as we got the money... Wait a minute, hold on a second. See, we don't need to press this, because this answers why he would do that. Sort of. See, we knew we could get rich by holding Lance back. Mr. Mono would pay anything to get his son back after all. Why did you believe that? Anyone who knows Mr. Amano would think the same. I bet Lance is that old man's greatest treasure. I suppose he would be to a doted father like Mr. Amano. I always figured that was it too. And I was always envious of Lance for it. Oh. Because your dad's... I got this pendant. As I have this, I'll find my father again someday. He'll welcome me into his arms, riding on the back of Pegasus. That pendant. She must truly believe it to be the wings of Pegasus.
Hold it!
Oh, wrong button. Would you mind telling us a little about the plan itself? Well, first we captured Lance. Ooh, how did you do that? Well, Mr. Deacon did that on his own, so I don't quite know. Bah! And here I thought you knew how to steal people away. I shudder to think that you would do with what you would do with such knowledge. Sorry, I really don't know. But somehow Mr. Deacon was able to contain him. All we had to do after that was wait for the ransom to be paid, but... Mr. Deacon turned on me and tried to kill me!
Hold it!
Why do you think he did? I have no idea. Or maybe he had planned on doing so from the very beginning. Miss Pops. Wait. Mr. Deacon planned to kill Miss Pops from the very beginning? Was that ever really likely to happen? What should I do? Should I raise an objection? So let's think about this, okay? If you guys notice, we have shaped like a horse, Colin Deveray is engraved on the back. And we have Mrs. Pop's pendant, shaped like a pair of wings, Lauren D is engraved on the back. If you notice, they are very similar. Because they have the same style, the same color, and they have the same, well basically they're made of a similar material. So, I'm sorry, but I don't think what you just claimed is all that likely. Huh? I don't think Mr. Deacon would ever have been capable of killing you. But why? We were total strangers. It's not uncommon for people to kill each other over money. Miss Pops, you really are clueless, aren't you? What do you mean? You never knew what your role in the kidnapping was, nor do you know who you really are. But I do. And I can show you with this piece of evidence. It proves that Mr. Deacon wouldn't have been able to bring himself to kill Miss Pops. So it's either... I think I have to, present... Okay, I gotta think about this, because there's... one piece of evidence. I'm gonna have to assume it's gonna be this. Let's try it.
Take that!
Nope. Ha! I see kidnappers who are... Alright. God damn. Alright.
Hold it! Hold it!
Okay. We got it. Okay. Why are you showing this to me? So what about the pendant? This pair of wings, along with this piece of evidence, shows who you really are.
Take that!
These two pendants resemble each other. Wouldn't you agree? Hey, you're right! They're the same color and they're even made of the same material. I believe that these two pendants were actually one. Oh my god, that sounded so bad, I'm sorry. Shall we give it a try? Wow, it's totally Pegasus! But why? Why does my pendant match up with Mr. Deacon's? You're a smart lady. I'm sure you can imagine why that might be. No! That can't be! So the two make a set. It's just another trinket. It's not as though this changes anything. You lack imagination, Agent Lang. Very well. I'll show you with this evidence. This is the piece of evidence that gives meaning to the Pegasus pendant. So this is where we show the Colin Devore dossier. Okay.
Take that!
Oliver Deacon was just an alias for this man. His real name was Colin Devore, the name that is etched on the horse pendant. What? An alias? I suppose he had to hide the fact that he was a felon somehow in order to live. And it made sense given what is written in Mr. Devore's dossier. But what I really wanted to point out was this. This specific section is what reveals the true meaning. So yeah. Look at this. Whereabouts unknown after his escape from Pen E Dent prison. Stole a gun from a guard during his escape. We thought he might head for where his wife and sole daughter are, but despite our surveillance, he has yet to show up. So yeah, you gotta point this to where it goes right with sole daughter. So let's do it.
Take that!
Mr. Devore had one daughter, and her name is Lauren Pops. That's a lie! That person was not my father! He couldn't come out and tell you he was your father, because he was in hiding. However, I believe he was trying to secretly watch over you. Do you still believe that a man like that could kill the daughter he was separated from? Or even that such a man would allow his daughter to get involved in a kidnapping plot?
Not so fast!
And what is so funny, Agent Lang? You're good at making things up in your head and deciding it's the truth, aren't you? What are you trying to say? Your thinking is much too innocent. After all, I've thought of another possibility. Is that so? Well, let's hear it. Argument. Another possibility. I'll grant you that the two of them are father and daughter. But isn't it possible that they both knew that fact? It was no coincidence that the reunited pair became involved in the House of Amano. And the two of them make good use of their meetings to plan this little kidnapping. Wouldn't you say my scenario is perfectly probable as well? So this is his version of how things might have been. You don't have any proof that they didn't know of their true relationship, right? And you're saying that the two of them committed the kidnapping together? That's right. As one really rotten family. Is that really what happened? I had better take a long, hard look at the evidence. Rebuttal. Another possibility. Alright.
Hold it!
You think they knew? Yeah, I don't think only the victim knew. I think the girl realized it as well. They both knew who the other person was, but they had to pretend that they didn't. Because he was on the lam? You got it. The victim couldn't exactly go around flaunting who he was. Furthermore,
Hold it!
one is a butler and the one is a friend of the son, you mean? They probably thought that was their best shot. Is that what you honestly believe? Of course.
Hold it!
You mean how they plotted to commit this crime as blood relatives? Can you think of a better partner? They're certainly a clever pair. The butler and the girlfriend. No one would ever suspect that they were, in fact, family. Yes, from the very beginning, they painstakingly practiced those roles well. So you gotta really think about this. Like, this being a little tricky trying to figure this out, because it's kind of. See, thinking about it a bit more, let me check something here. Yeah, this is a little interesting here. Because Lane is saying that two of them made good use of their meetings to plan this little kidnapping. The only problem is there were three of them. So...
Objection!
This kidnapping wasn't planned by just two people alone. And what kind of proof do you have of that? Quite simply, there were three kidnappers. Three?! Full costumes were stolen from the Wild Wild West area's back room. We found one of them in the kidnapper's hideout. But as for the other three, we can assume they were being worn by three different people. We also found a set of 3 cups and 3 folding chairs that were used in the hideout. It all clearly points to a 3-man group. And I believe this third person is the real mastermind behind the kidnapping. Who? Who is this mastermind? I present to you the brains behind the kidnapping. So let's see here, we got these many people. So obviously, Old Bag and Emma Sky are not, obviously not the brains behind the kidnapping. And Lauren, not really involved in this either, nor is Officer Meekins. Oliver Deacon is dead. Sheena or Lang are not responsible for this at all, nor is Kay Verde. And nor is Dick Gumshoe. Ernest Amano had seemingly no idea what's going on here. So the only person responsible for this is Lance.
Take that!
Lance Amano! Yes, this abduction was in fact schemed up by Lance himself. Recall what he said when he appeared before us. Did you see the faces of your kidnappers? No, I didn't see their faces, but two. One was a woman. However, there were 3 kidnappers, which is in direct contradiction to what he said. But, I know I only saw 2 people. This guy was being held hostage. It's possible he couldn't see all 3 of them. Ah, yes, about when you were being held. I have my doubts about what happened then. Lance, would you mind telling us what happened while you were being held captive? I really don't remember much anymore. Honest. But if I don't tell you at least something, you won't believe me at all, will you? Testimony. Lance's testimony. I was kidnapped yesterday morning. They had me shut in that room, blindfolded, the entire time. But the kidnapper suddenly disappeared around the time I heard rain falling outside. My hands were cuffed, but it was a stroke of luck that they left me alone. I made my escape and ran away from that room as fast as I could. We can already see a question to be asked throughout that whole thing. Just one in particular. Through the underground passageway, I presume? Are you okay? Sorry. I really didn't want to recall that horrible ordeal, but now you believe me, right? No, not quite yet. How can you not? Why do you look at me with icy daggers in your eyes? Because he's a prosecutor. And because they're all like that. I'll have you know, Agent Lang will prosecute his eyes afore discerning the truth. And should they be interpreted to be cruel at times, then so be it. I love that smile on his face as he says it. Basically says, I don't care what you think. This is how I am. And if you don't like it, whatever. I don't care. I don't give a damn. Damn, bro. That is cool. That is funny to me. Wow, that is just absolutely funny to me. There's a sticking point in Lance's testimony. Let's see what he offers up when I push a little. Rebuttal. Lance's testimony. Okay. Alright. Okay. Now how did you do that?
Hold it!
How did you manage to escape? I wanted to just get out of there, but the door leading outside was locked, which is why I had to use the underground passageway to make my escape. I remember our escape to be equally as hard. This is an invaluable piece of testimony. I mustn't let it go unexamined. The door leading outside was locked tight, so I had to use the underground passageway. Was it? Or was it... I don't know. In a way, blocked.
Objection!
You say that the door leading out was locked, but was it really? We're talking about that room behind the saloon. We're talking about that room behind the saloon front, right? Look, I heard that it took quite a few men to get that thing open. Right, Shiena? Yes, that's correct. Then take a look at this. What is that? A sword? It's not an especially reliable one if it's broken like that. Allow me to start from the end. My conclusion is that the door was never locked. It was simply held shut by this sword, which was used to jam the handle. Lance, even though your hands were cuffed together, you still could use them. If that's the case, then why did you not just simply remove the sword and escape? Why didn't I? I was disoriented. Yes, that's it. I didn't notice it. As if I should accept such a bold-faced lie. You locked yourself in that room because you had to make yourself look like the victim. But you did not, in fact, possess the key to the door. That is why you used a prop sword to improvise and create a prison of your very own.
Knuckle back!
You've been making this guy out to be one of the kidnappers for some time now. I wonder if you've forgotten something very important along the way. And what would that be? A motive! What else? Do you honestly think that an upright, pure boy like him would hatch up a completely pointless scheme such as kidnapping himself?
Objection!
This proves that Lance did indeed have a motive to commit this crime. You remember that love letter? It was a loan company on it, right? So it wasn't no damn love letter.
Take that!
To put it simply, Lance has a very urgent need for money. This is hardly your typical love letter. It is, in fact, a collections bill. It appears our upstanding boy has accumulated quite a debt. Isn't that right, Lance? Looks like it's hard being the son of a rich man, too. It must be rough when you have to resort to stealing from your own old man, huh? That's cold. That really is cold. The fact that you're trying to get money to pay for your debts by faking your kidnapping and having your dad and trying to get money out of your own father, that's just cold, man. Come on. Even the scummiest piece of shit fathers in quotations doesn't deserve to be treated like that. If anything, just kick their ass to the curb. Alright, I give up. I abducted myself. Lance! It's over, Lolly. In this life, we really are bound to our fates after all. All I wanted was to go with you to a new town. Somewhere where no one would know us. I wanted us to be well off with that $1 million. But now, that dream is over. Oh, Lance. Then, you are giving yourself up? Yes. I had planned to run away from this world with my Lolly. Well, I shouldn't say Lolly. It should be Lolly. Because if I say Lolly, people are going to assume I'm saying something else when I'm just reading what is on the screen. Oliver even helped us with the plan, but then he had to go and stab us in the back. He turned on you? Maybe he didn't want to split the ransom money. That's my guess. It happened almost right after you made the drop-off. When we were alone, he attacked me all of a sudden. After a brief struggle, I was able to contain him and keep him under control. We left him inside that room as Lolly and I made our escape. We wore different costumes and split up. Lolly had left first in the Blue Badger costume. That would mean the person of submission soul was Miss Pops. But right then, the old man just had to wake up. I was careless and he tackled me pretty hard from behind. Then Oliver put on a Bad Badger costume, took the suitcase with $1 million and ran. My contacted Lolly right away and warned her that he had a gun. They had no idea that they were related, so I thought that it could only end badly. I still don't believe it. That person was not my father. Because if he was, I just killed my own father. Oh, that took a whole 180, didn't it? Like a whole 180. Lolly! Then it really was you? Testimony. Chain of events. That man was not my father. I mean, because at the stadium, there was a Bad Badger pulling the suitcase with the $1 million in it. But that Badger pointed his gun at me, aiming to shoot me dead. That's why I used that gun I got from Lance. There was a gunshot. The other person crumpled to the ground, and I ran, scared for my life. I think the big picture is finally coming into focus, don't you? Lolly, forgive me. I didn't think it would turn into something so frightening. If only I could have protected you. So, Miss Pops, she shot her own dad without even knowing who he really was? If what she says is true. Are you saying she's lying? But why would she lie about something like that? What purpose would it serve? You would be surprised how often people lie without realizing it themselves, Tay. Huh? What's that supposed to mean? What I mean is, listen very carefully to her own confession once more, and you'll see. I already noticed a bit of a problem there with what she said. Rebuttal. Chain of events. Hmm. Is she sure about that? Let's test that out.
Hold it!
Were you able to clearly see the gun? Yes, I got a very good look at it while it was pointed at me. Oh, Father. Why would you try to shoot me? Do you really think the father would shoot his own daughter, Mr. Edgeworth? I don't know. I don't want to believe it myself. But it's true. My father's left arm was raised with a gun in it. Pointed straight at me. I'm about to die, I thought. Miss Pops! Please calm down and take a deep breath. And then would you allow me to please hear that last statement one more time? Yes, of course. But that badger pointed the gun in his left hand and shoot me dead. So you said his left hand. So we're talking about her dad, right? Trying to shoot you dead with a gun in his left hand. But look at his dominant hand. Is it left or right? The answer is literally right there. Also, I just realized this. Look at his weight. 123.45 pounds. That's crazy. But enough of that.
Objection!
Let's object with this. I have here a dossier on your father. And according to this, your father was right-handed. Then the person pointing a gun at you from atop the stage was not Mr. Deaton.
Knuckle back!
Sorry. Hold on there, Mr. Prosecutor. I think you need to take a refresher course. The Bad Badger has a model gun attached to his right hand, which is why the only hand he could have held the real gun with was his left. Isn't it possible that it went down like that? Agent Lang, were you all paying attention to what Miss Pops was saying? Then again, I suppose I can't expect someone who has never set foot in court to catch it. Enough with the smugness. Out with it already, he says, sweating bullets. Miss Pops told us earlier. There was a Bad Badger pulling the suitcase with the $1 million in it. According to you, the Bad Badger had the gun in his left hand, which would mean that he was pulling the suitcase with his right hand. Is that correct, Miss Pops? Yes, exactly. And I'm sure it was the Bad Badger. It had those huge sunglasses on its face. But if that's the case, even I can see there's a contradiction. There's a huge contradiction. Yes, Miss Pops claims to have seen the Bad Badger. And yet the Bad Badger had both of his hands full. These two pieces of information contradict each other, so one must be wrong. You know, it's kind of ironic. Oops, sorry. You know the crazy thing about that is? Because, you know, the very interesting thing is they both are technically correct. If you don't know, bear with me. You'll find out here in a moment. They are both correct. Impossible! That just leaves us with an irresolvable contradiction. Miss Pop's entire statement rests on the fact that she saw his sunglasses and beard. But what if that bad badger wasn't wearing pants on his lower half? This proves that there was a way for the bad badger to really use both of his hands.
Take that!
The costumes have two parts to them, a head and the body. Oh, I get it now! The head Miss Pop saw was probably really the head of the bad badger. However, it is not possible that the body was that of an entirely different... Is it not possible that the body was that... A different badger? Yes. Or to put it more bluntly, I believe it was the lower half of this badger. The body of the bad badger Miss Pop saw was really this one. You see how slim? Let's take a look at these here, alright? So we got the Proto Badger. The Bad Badger looks pretty similar to this one, so that's obviously the right one. If you look at Blue Badger, the problem is, it has a thing on it, and also it's a bit rounder with the belly. And the Pink Badger, well, when Miss Oldbag was already wearing it, so that already automatically threw that one out. So I will say the Proto Badger.
Take that!
What? The heck is it? It's the Proto Badger. What? The heck is it? It's the Proto Badger. Yes, and it is a simple matter of process of elimination. Miss Pops was wearing the Blue Badger's costume, so we can eliminate that one. And the Pink Badger is of the wrong color, which would have been incredibly obvious. All that is left is the Proto Badger costume. Miss Pops! Who was the one who wore the Proto Badger costume? That would be Lance. You can tell he's guilty. Look at his face. Look at him. You can tell he knows he got caught. He is 100% guilty. He realized, oh, shoot.
Knuckle back!
Are you saying what I think you are? That Lance Amano donned the Bad Badger's head and pretended to be Mr. Deacon? On top of which, he plotted to shoot Miss Pops while wearing that hideous thing? The stage that was set up in the stadium was nothing more than that. A setup. And its purpose was to lead Miss Pops into believing she had committed murder. Standing there in front of Miss Pops and pretending to be the victim. It was all done so that she would pull the trigger. I have no idea what you're talking about. Why exactly would I have had to do all that, huh? There is but one reason. Lance Amano! You are the real culprit behind the murder of Mr. Oliver Deacon. What? No! That's slander! Take it back! You take it back right now! Just out of curiosity, Lance, which is your dominant hand? I'm left-handed. But what does that have to do with anything? It depends. According to Miss Pops, her attacker held a gun in his left hand. Oh! Ha! Who is one-handed doesn't prove a thing. And besides, now you're just being absurd. It's not like the Proto-Badger is bulletproof. One misfire and he would have found himself dead, right?
Objection!
Of course. Logically, if he had been shot, he probably wouldn't be here with us. But I believe he had thought of that as well, and prepared accordingly. And this should be all the evidence you need. This is how Lance made sure that he wouldn't be hit by a bullet. Where's the model gun at? Literally, that's the only thing that could stop him. Literally. I mean, think about it for a second. That's our prosecutor's badge. Paper ain't gonna do shit. A helmet ain't gonna do shit either. A badge in front of rally means nothing. A Bible doesn't mean anything. The stolen costumes doesn't mean anything. That was found out when we found it. A pendant, I guess, could stop it, but he was wearing it, not Lance. A Batmobile was nowhere near him. Victim's costume, we don't know what's going on with that. Love letter, not at all a thing there. That means nothing. That was at the door, and Lauren was wearing this one. So it's the model gun. They found one half of a bad Badger costume in the hideout, a broken one. It was not the same one that the victim was wearing. Of course, it was missing something. And that something is the model gun that the bad Badger carries, which fires blanks. What? Miss Pops, where's the gun you use now? I threw it away into the sea. That makes it a bit tough to verify what it was. Although I believe that we can safely assume that it was the model gun in question. I've heard enough. All you've been spouting so far is pure conjecture. I admit that as long as the model gun is lost to us, I can't prove I'm right. However, I can say that the probability that I am right is very high. Okay, let's pretend that you're right and that the murder at the stadium was a fabrication. In that case, where do you think the murder really took place, Mr. Prosecutor? I don't know yet. Ha! I knew you were full of it! However, I do believe that the murder took place during an earlier time frame. Please wait a second. It's simply not possible. Because I saw Mr. Deacon after he was restrained by Lance. She saw the victim in the state of being restrained? Testimony. What Miss Pops saw. I came back to the hideout long after the other two. By that time, Lance had already subdued and restrained Mr. Deacon. He had tied Mr. Deacon securely to the beam in the room next door. After that, the two of us put on our costumes and made our escape. So Mr. Deacon must have escaped after the two of you left, right? We thought that it'd attract too much attention if we left together, so I left first. We planned to meet up again at the stage in the stadium. But then, As I was walking through the park, I got a call from Lance on my cell phone. Oliver managed to escape. It looked like he was waiting until I was alone. He also stole the gun from me at that time. And then the murder happened. Mr. Deacon must have overheard their plan to meet up at the stage. Well, Mr. Prosecutor, Miss Pop saw the victim with her own eyes. Which means that the victim was still alive at that time. Wouldn't you agree? Why does that sound wrong to me? There must be something amiss. There must be something amiss about this account. Let's see what happens when I examine it in more detail. Rebuttal. Sorry. Rebuttal. What Miss Pop saw. I came back to the hideout long after the other two. That time, Lance and Honey subdued and restrained Mr. Deacon.
Hold it!
You are sure that it was Mr. Deacon that you saw? Yes, I am certain of what I saw. Did you go into the other room to check? Lance said that it was best if I didn't get too close to him. Lance, he's such a kind soul. Then are you telling me that you did not confirm that it was Mr. Deacon for yourself? I checked through the slit in the room door that separates the two rooms. He had a Bad Badger's head on, so I'm absolutely sure. I just had to be Mr. Deacon. You saw a Bad Badger head?
Objection!
One little problem with that idea, with that statement. Miss Pops, the person you saw was not Mr. Deacon at all. Huh? The person you actually saw was this person. Obviously it wasn't Lance because he was right there with the guy with the mask on. Couldn't be Kay because she would have been in there, not us. It was us, we all knew that. It was me. Huh? The person I saw was you, Mr. Edgeworth? I always thought it was a bit odd. Why would the kidnappers abduct me, even after I had handed over the ransom? It's not as though I saw the face of the kidnappers. If I were them, I would have just taken the $1 million and ran. But in the end, there was a point to it all. It was to make me look like Mr. Deacon. And if that was the reason for which I was abducted, then I believe we could assume that the victim was already dead at that time. Well, Lance, am I right? That's... You showed Miss Pops a person, namely me, with a Bad Badger's head on, and then made your costumed escape together. Or so you pretended. Huh? What do you mean he pretended? Exactly that. I believe Lance watched you escape, and then doubled back to the hideout. Probably to come and remove the Bad Badger head from my unconscious self. And to create his fake prison with the prop sword. He then escaped via the passageway. Hold your tongue, boy! Don't get caught up in that tidal wave of words coming out of Mr. Prosecutor's mouth. Tidal wave? We've heard a lot come out of you, but I've yet to see a shred of evidence. The victim's betrayal and his subsequent detainment. All of that could have happened while you were out cold. That's right! You were out for quite a while, Mr. Prosecutor. Even if that were the case, Miss Pops would have still seen me tied to that beam. I was scared of Mr. Deacon, so I didn't go into the next room. Sorry. So I really have no idea if you were in there or not, Mr. Edgeworth. You see, it would seem that you can't prove a thing. Hold it! Who said that? Please wait. Mr. Amano. Ho ho ho! Miles, my boy! It looks like you're really giving it your all. And Lance, it's not good to cause trouble for others. Dad! Let's see. You are the one in charge of the investigation, correct? Yeah, that's right. I'm sorry that my son has been nothing but trouble. This probably won't make up for anything, but I have some evidence for you. Oh? Do you now? Is that what I think it is? It's the Bad Badger costume the victim was wearing! And a gun! I couldn't wait around for the police, so I went and found these myself. It appears that they were disposed of in the sea. Ah! Is there no one in this country who actually obeys the law? I ask myself that question every day sometimes. There. Now. Agent Lang, please calm down. What the heck is that scrap of paper? This appears to be a letter from the chief of police. Please allow Mr. Amano complete freedom to do as he sees fit, it says. What? The chief of police? What the... Just who does he think he is? The person who wields the highest authority in this area. Ho ho ho! There, now. There is no need to be so upset. I'm not a cop from this land, so I'm not bound by the laws of your country. Now. This wasn't meant to strong-arm you into anything. It's just a request. I'm only asking that you please respect the laws of the land. I can't really say no to that. However, returning to the topic at hand, it doesn't matter who found the evidence. Its value remains unchanged. Alright, now let's take a look inside this new evidence. I've already got the results back. I had a special forensics research lab that I'm on good terms with conduct the tests. They verified that the blood in this costume belonged to Oliver. As for the gun, the only fingerprints they could find were yours, Lauren! What? You disappoint me, Miles. I couldn't believe that you would cause my son such stress and heartache. Thank goodness I was able to find the final pieces of evidence. What with this, you'll have no reason left to push my poor boy around. That's it. These are the case-making pieces of evidence. Ha! I'll be the judge of that. I won't rest until I've inspected every suspicious-looking nook and cranny. Could this gun be the actual murder weapon? Revolver dated on a dynamite organizer. Used to kill Deacon. Was originally shot from guard by victim during escape. This bullet hole. Looks kind of burnt around the edges. Wait! His burn marks were left by the gunpowder. It's the most important fact. Why is that? Because it is proof that the victim was shot at point-blank range. Victim's costume data not updated in my organizer. Worn at time of shooting. Gunpowder burns is proof here. Laser test was shot from the back. Weird. Right. Yeah, I'm starting to feel a little tired. Victim's costume data updated in my organizer. One at time of shooting. Gunpowder burns is proof he was shot from point blank. Look inside the costume head. Hey, they sparkle! I bet they're really powerful. Sorry, but they're just pieces of a mirror. But why are they here? Mere fragments data jotted down in my organizer. These were found inside the victim's costume. Why were they there in the first place? Alright. Hold on a second, let me make sure I didn't. Okay. Well, are these not the most definitive pieces of evidence you've ever seen? Thank you, Dad. This should be enough to convince even Mr. Edgeworth over there. Testimony. Decisive evidence. Alright. Make no mistake, there are fingerprints on that murderous gun. And they prove that it was Lolly who killed Oliver. But Oliver was also after Lolly's life. So, Mr. Edgeworth, even you must see that Lolly was only acting in self-defense. The fingerprints on the weapon, huh? Oh no! This isn't helpful at all! Look, Mr. Edgeworth, all I want to do is save Lolly. But in the end, all I can do is watch on as she gives all the punishment for her circus. I need to stop just nodding in and out, just nodding off like I'm about to go to sleep at some point. Hmm. We came all this way to turn back, so what I'm gonna do is I'll finish this, and then I'll wait a few hours, and if I'm still awake by then, I'll probably finish the last bit of this thing here. So technically, it'll be like episode 10.5 kind of thing there. That may be all you can do. However, I still have a case to solve and a job to do. The job of unraveling your insidious lie. You wound me. Why won't you believe me even in the face of all this evidence? Rebuttal. Decisive evidence. Hmm. Hmm. See here. Whose fingerprints, though?
Hold it!
Those fingerprints, are you sure they belong to Miss Pops? There's no mistake about it. The life directions I have tried the biscuit forensic techniques. Alright. Let me check the computer. Through my connections, I had the best forensic techniques money can buy and perform. I find that to be a bit peculiar. What? Are you trying to pick an argument with me? What did I do? Should I wait objection or change it? Let's see here. Should we raise an objection? Yeah, one, two. Yeah, let's go ahead and let's see. Let's raise an objection and see what happens here. Frankly, I don't believe in that. Miss Pops' prints should be on that guy and that gun to begin with. And the reason Miss Pops was printed so don't be on the gun is Why am I even in this menu to begin with? I have no idea. Alright. Alright, enough of the vent-long salmon treatment. So, let's see here. See, I keep nodding, like, dozing off, like, in and out of sleep. Well, at least as close to it as one could get to it. Yeah, so, yeah, I'm trying to think about this for a second here. Yeah, so, using my currently tired as hell, brain, I can deduce that is because if you guys recall, Miss Pops was actually wearing one of the Badger costumes that were partaking in that rally or whatever. So, yeah. So,
Take that!
it's simply not possible for Miss Pops to have left any prints on their murder weapon. Because while she was at the stadium, Miss Pops was wearing a costume. Huh? But there's been no mistake. We found fingerprints. Well, Miss Pops, do you remember touching the gun at all at any time? Yes. As a matter of fact, I didn't hold it for a bit back in the hideout. I handed it out to Mr. Diesel when he and Lance left to the haunted house. To retrieve the ransom money, I suppose. And there you have it. That is when Miss Pop's prints found their way onto the gun. Do you understand now, Mr. Amano? The fingerprints do nothing to prove that Miss Pops is the murderer. But you still don't have anything to prove that she isn't the killer, right? You seem very adamant about insisting that your girlfriend is a cold-blooded killer. Oh! Oh, damn! Edgeworth calling him out! Damn! And even she can't believe it! Oh, Lance! What? No way! I'm incredibly worried about her! But that doesn't change the fact that you don't have any evidence, right? That's where you're wrong. I have the evidence. What? How? The story that Miss Pops killed the victim at the stage in the stadium. The whole affair is simply not true, because that was not the real crime scene, but a setup. This proves that the real murder was not committed at the stadium at all. What was it that we found in the hideout? Mirror fragments? They were in the victim's costume. Why were they there in the first place? Now we know why.
Take that!
This piece of evidence proves that the real crimes... Oh wait, is that? Oh, okay. Okay, I'm actually jumping the gun a bit there. Oh wait, I'm an idiot. I'm an idiot. Because... Look at this. And tell me what you see about it. Because if you notice where there is a hole in the belt buckle, would probably be the belt buckle area of the pants, you notice a bullet hole. If the victim was shot from below the stage, there shouldn't be any burn marks. Because that's a pretty good distance away. So,
Take that!
let us take another good look at the costume the victim was wearing. Then I believe you'll see why I insist he was not shot at the stadium. This is the part of the costume that proves it. Yeah, we're actually not too far away from what we needed to present. Yeah, there you go. The burn around this bullet hole was made when the victim was shot at point-blank range. Ah! So then, you really mean the murder Miss Oldback saw at the stadium was really... Yes, she saw two people, but they were separated by a distance. If the victim was indeed shot from below the stage, there shouldn't be a gunpowder burn. Look at you, Mr. Smarty Pants Prosecutor. Since you seem to know all the answers, why not tell us where the real crime scene is then? Oh, here we go. Gotta love this music right here. Hans set me up to look like Mr. Deaton back at the hideout. If that's the case, then the murder must have happened prior to that. And the location of where Hans and the victim were at just before I was in prison was... I got it! I know the real scene of the murder! The real location in which Mr. Deaton was killed is here! So let's think about this. We already just proved that the stadium situation wasn't the murder scene. The main gate was not even the murder scene at all. Was not the murder scene at all. Wild Wild West area, we found the body there, but we've already proven that that wasn't the real murder scene. So that only leaves one area. The haunted house.
Take that!
I think it's not unreasonable to assume the murder took place in the haunted house. The haunted house? Yes, and I have proof of that. It is highly likely that the victim was killed there. What proves that the real crime scene, if you assume the crime was the haunted house? Now we're actually supposed to use this here. I was an idiot earlier.
Take that!
These were inside the costume the victim was wearing. They're fragments of a mirror. A mirror? And what does that have to do with anything? Indeed. You don't exactly expect to find a piece of a mirror inside a costume. Yeah, that's actually pretty dangerous. However, there is one place I can think of where there is a plethora of mirror fragments. And that is the haunted house. Lance Amano, I propose that you killed Mr. Deaton with the revolver in the haunted house. After that, you stole the Blue Badger-mobile to move his body to the Wild Wild West area. The timing of when the Blue Badger-mobile was stolen confirms this as fact. Miles, my boy, say no more. I'm sorry, Mr. Amano, but I cannot do that. Be quiet! Yes, please do something! Stop that boy from spitting any more nonsense! Ernest Amano, correct? I meant you! Now be quiet, Gramps! How dare you! I don't need words. The only thing I require is evidence. Decisive evidence! And to call these mirror bits decisive is a bit too presumptuous, Mr. Prosecutor. What? Sheila! Wasn't there a mirror in the kidnapper's hideout? Yes, there was a mirror there. A mirror that's for the haunted house. You see? Isn't it possible for the fragments got into the costume there? But Agent Lang, there were no fragments on the floor, so the probability is very low. Probability? Lang Z says, on Truth's path, the word probability does not exist. The only thing that does is definitive proof. The question, Mr. Prosecutor, is, do you have the definitive proof you need? Well, Mr. Edgeworth, do you? Do I have solid evidence that proves the murder took place at the haunted house? The answer is no. See? See? So since you don't have any, shut up! I don't have the evidence yet, but I'm certain the murder occurred around the time I turned the ransom over. At that time, the only people in the haunted house, besides myself, were Lance and Mr. Deacon. If I can prove that the murder took place at the haunted house, then I can prove Lance's guilt in connection to the murder. What now, Mr. Edgeworth? Agent Lang, I have a special request. Yeah? I'd like to prove to you that the scene of the crime was indeed the haunted house. Why in the world are you asking the werewolf for permission? Because I don't really have a choice if I want to find the truth. Alright, permission granted. But you're not to touch a single thing, got it? That won't be a problem. All that's important to me is that the truth is be brought to light. It doesn't matter by who or how it's done, as long as it is. Shirna! I'm here. Put in the paperwork for the authorization immediately. Understood. I'll go get the Daywater Group's approval. Hold it! Who was that? Now. Let's hold on for a second. There is no need to obtain approval. Mr. Amano? Agent Lang, if you would please take a look at this. What is this? Shirna! It's the deed to the haunted house. The deed? Read it out loud! Read it out loud! Daywater Land Incorporated hereby bequeaths the property known as the haunted house to Mr. Amano for the lump sum of $1 million paid in full in cash. What? Oh. That is a plot twist right there. Ho ho ho. As you can see, I am now the legal owner of the haunted house. Are you kidding? When did you... I ran into the owner of the park earlier, and we made the deal almost immediately. How quickly things move when you can prepare $1 million in the blink of an eye. That $1 million you paid. Don't tell me it was. Oh, that's right. This disgusting suitcase belongs to you, doesn't it? I don't have any more use for it, so you may have it back now. You used the ransom money? My Lance is a good boy. He even apologized for the kidnapping a bit earlier. So I do believe that I will forgive him. After all, he did return the ransom money. That's the way things are. So if you would please discuss things with me from now on. Discuss? What is there to discuss? Why, permission to enter the haunted house, of course. Oh, crap. He now realizes it. While we were busy listening to Lance's story, Mr. Amano is out there preempting us. Permission to search the haunted house is denied. End of discussion. Agent Lang, I want you to arrest that girl. And Miles, you should hurry on home now, my boy, before I really lose my temper. Ah! Mr. Amano definitely has the deck stacked in his favor here. What should I do? If I leave it like this, the truth will be lost forever. Yep, we are definitely in a bit of a pickle. I'm gonna go ahead and end it here. I'm gonna take a little break. And then, I don't know what, I'll probably do it within the next hour, maybe. So, because I did say I was going to finish this case. I'm not technically going to lie to you guys. I'm going to do it before I go to bed. Just give me, uh, some, just, just going to take a little break here, and then I will be back to finish the case once and for all. So until then, ladies and gentlemen, thank you guys for watching this episode of Ace Attorney Investigations. Hope you guys enjoyed. That plot twist was definitely really good, though. And until then, ladies and gentlemen, this is Forrest Walpole signing off.